Oh look, former President Barack Obama finally came out to praise Trump's deal. Oh wait, no he didn't. Here's Obama's response. Pause here if you want to read it because I'm not going to leave it up for long. An end to conflict is in sight, he says. Well, good for him, right? Good for optics. Endless foreign policy press conferences is now trying to ride President Trump's diplomacy wave. Yeah, you get no applause from me. Because what President Obama should be doing is admitting that years of talks, years of committees, years of summits did absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Trump brokered normalization deals, he pushed a ceasefire and lost. He made moves and he produced, well, receipts. Don't praise what's already being done. Join in and get out of the way. Why did President Obama write a statement like that and yet he could have used the moment to unite the entire nation that's on the verge of a civil war? If your legacy is war by another name, you have no moral high ground to criticize negotiation. So all that to say, Obama, sit down and shut up because this moment isn't yours. It's his. And, well, every Democrat out there should be praising President Donald J. Trump for the work that he put into this. Because his success with just this surpasses any one of their presidencies in its entirety.
Barack Obama, how could you put out a post on social media and not even say one little bit to Donald Trump about what a great job that he has done? I have to tell you, this is disgusting. This is so vile that I'm going to read this to you. I find this just so insulting as Barack Obama comes out and says after 2 years of unimaginable loss, Donald Trump wasn't the president. You were behind the scenes running the country because Joe Biden was incompetent with his vice president, Kamala Harris, that wasn't doing a thing.
Yes, I don't know why these people can't change. Obama put out a tweet just to say something in relation to the deal Trump struck recently without mentioning Trump's name. It is very, very simple. I understand you are opposed to Trump. Congratulate him for what he has done. Biden could not do it. He did it. What is the problem in saying congratulations? Sometimes when I look at people like this, you should actually not believe a word coming from these people, because if you can see something like this, then twist it, then you are not to be trusted. Yeah, when you take a look at this tweet from Vivek, come on, Obama, say his name. It is the easiest opportunity you have ever had to give some credit to President Trump and unite Americans. The fact that you refuse to do it, even in this one very special case, reflects why we are so divided. That is vivid, setting out.
But did you get a chance to check out Barack Obama's statement? Now, there was nothing inherently wrong with the statement, but there is something I noticed. Did you notice something there or not notice something there? While I appreciate him for not creating drama around this topic, which a lot of the Democrats love to do, I find it interesting that it's so difficult for them to, at the same time, acknowledge President Trump for his work in that, because he is who has brokered that deal. I find it interesting that it's so difficult to give credit where credit is due, because we're so busy pushing this narrative of he's horrible, he's awful. And what happened if you actually say he did something great? I found that interesting. Did you notice it?
You know, I was reflecting on the racial division in our country and really where did it start? Like when can it be pinpointed that the racial division started? You know, you see so much racial division. And I remember growing up, we really didn't talk about race like that. There was not something that was talked about even in high school. And when I got to college, it was just something that we talked about a little bit, but it wasn't really talked about, right? We were beginning as a country not to really be defined by the color of our skin. We had just elected a black president. We just wasn't there as a country. And what happened? Well, that same black president that the country trusted began to bring division in this country on a level we'd never seen before. Went after his political opponent for the first time. with what he did and spying on Trump's campaign, using which it came out now. He also weighed in on stories. Usually presidents never weighed in on stories like the Trayvon Martin story that he weighed in on and made it about race when it wasn't about race. They made the guy who killed Trayvon Martin, they made him a white person when he was a Hispanic person. And so Obama, we call him the divider in chief, and it really started with him. And then the media, when Trump got elected, went behind, did not like it at all. They didn't think he would win. And so they began to use the only thing they could to bring division and hatred among each other so that he would never get in again, to paint him as a white supremacist, which before Trump got elected, nobody thought Trump was racist. And then they began to use the media, and we began to see an uptick in terms like white supremacy, and systematic racism, and terms like that. DEI, CRT exploded, and it was all self-induced. It was all induced on purpose by the media, by the Barack Obama. He started it.
There is one thing that triggered me on this tweet. If you take a look at this, after 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for their families and the people of God, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with their families, and that vital aid can start reaching those inside. Who initiated this? That is a question I'm asking. From, right? You have put that writing, acknowledging that what Trump did is very important without calling his name. You can see the level of hypocrisy with these people. Not only him, watching Bernie Sanders, he did the same thing. Democrat can't stop. I don't know why the level of politics had to reach this level. Like, seriously, it is insane.
My team informed me that there's more and that we needed to play. And I think it's SOT 31.
You really go there.
And then
Do you really
creating-
say, because how many times somebody asks, what are you thinking about? And you're like, well, let me make up a thing because
Right.
I don't want to
I don't
actually
want to
tell
say
you what I was
really
thinking about.
happened right now.
Which was
Yeah.
like, the way you're chewing makes me want to smack you upside
See,
the head.
that's why guys
Which could
don't
be-
want to have
would
which
that
could
be an
be-
edge?
That would
Is
be
that
an
an
edge. And that would be really interesting. You could like open something up
It's
there
like,
in a
why
big
does
way.
your chewing annoy me so much?
Hearing another person chewing is you're hearing the essence of who they are.
Attempt. And somehow Michelle Obama thinks this is going to make her super relatable by always talking about how much she loathes her life partner.
I don't know if Michelle Obama can realize that over criticizing the husband is embarrassing herself. Yeah, every single time she's doing this. At a certain point, I don't see this to be okay. I understand she has the opinion to say what she wants, but sometimes doing this every single time is ridiculous. This is not the first time criticizing, this, that.
Would be
that
an
it?
edge. And that would be really interesting. You could like open something up
It's
there
like,
in a
why
big
does
way.
your chewing annoy me so much?
Right.
She cannot stand him, Glenn.
I mean, Meg, the only time I ever see clips of Michelle Obama is when you force me to see them. And I'm so happy that because it is, I like watch that with my mouth agape. Like everything else we've discussed makes sense to me. The level of contempt and hatred that she harbors for him. And not only that she harbors for him, but apparently feels like a strong need to let everybody know she has. Like it's not enough for her to just silently hate him. She wants to like publicly talk. I mean, I think we discussed the last time I was here that MSNBC article about that woman saying how terrible marriage was.
Yes, that was just an insight for video I put out a few days ago. Michelle putting him on a blast. When you take a look at what these people are doing, it's concerning. Thank you guys who has been there sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clips, that is for the YT algorithm.
Joke even for.
JD Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American
Give interviews. I don't do that.
JD Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama
is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC. I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not
all the same people that are in these polite...
Disagree with what Gavin Newsom said, that he doesn't...
Dave Chappelle. He's not wrong.